This fire is lit within me right now. Okay, so imagine you're being called evil, that the devil is working through you. You are someone who has these awful, perceived awful behaviors and actions, or that society deems as evil. You're someone who has committed these crimes in the past, yet you are unaware of how to make different choices. You don't know where to go to get the help that you need because you are afraid of all the judgment and all of the condemnation that happens when within our society of you being a demon, you being a devil, you being hell or evil or what all of those things are, right? You don't get help and the cycle perpetuates. Take whatever cycle you are wanting to break at this time, right? This could be eating, this could be serial dating, this could be multiple sexual partners, this could be even just social media scrolling, shopping, spending too much, whatever these things are, right? They're patterns. It could even be being unhappy. You don't know how to not be unhappy. These are things that if we knew how to choose differently, don't you think we would have? If we could have beaten ourselves up enough, don't you think that we would have changed those cycles and behaviors by now? These are things that are within everybody. Everybody has cycles that they want to change, right? Everybody has these things that they see as causing hindrance in the way that they live life and in a way that they connect with other people. It's on a spectrum for everyone. However, the core of that is that we don't know how to change that. Biologically, our body tells us that to change would be to die because our society is in such a fight or flight mode, is in such a survival society right now that anything different from what we were taught is very scary. Our body reacts as if it was going to die or as if it is threatened fight or flight. And so whenever we go to break this cycle, we revert back to the old ways. This is why we get to the core of things because we can understand when we look at these cycles and when we look at the behaviors, there was at a time that these met needs for us. They no longer do, but at one time they were an inherent, a way that we were to get an inherent need met. This goes all the way back to childhood. And in ways that we perceived we weren't getting our needs met, we began looking for comforting outside of ourselves. We began looking to other people for that need. We began looking to behaviors to distract us from not getting that need met. And it all of a sudden became this thing that was completely obstructing the way that we view the world. And so this is why it's very important for us to create a safe space for people to feel okay to get the help that they want to get. Now, imagine if you were someone, and I can imagine if you were someone that wanted help but felt too afraid because of the judgment that is out in the world or the people pointing fingers or the people that just call you a demon or a devil or whatever it is. You wouldn't. It would be nearly impossible to get the help that you actually desire. And what if people just assumed you were not a person worth helping because of the actions that you have done? And this is why I share my potent stories because all of us have that within us somewhere. We may not see this at an external level. People may not show this to us because we're all living from a defense mechanism. we are all wanting to block people out first before they're able to actually hurt us. And so this is where a lot of my vulnerable sharing comes in, is because I want to dissolve that barrier and connect on the pain points that I have committed a lot of crimes. I haven't been arrested for most of them. I haven't ever actually gotten caught for a lot of them. And that's even besides the point. Internally, I was miserable. And it's the internal infliction that really brought me to actually seeking true help. While I had committed a lot of heinous crimes, while I have done a lot of those things that people in society deem as unlovable or evil or devilish, I also know that a lot of those things were committed to me as well. And this is what has been one of my biggest learning factors in life, is experiencing both sides of the pendulum, because not only have I been the perpetrator, I have been perpetrated against. Not only have I been the person to receive a lot of this, I have also committed a lot of crimes as well. I'm not an evil person. I'm not going to hell. And it's not because I accepted Christ into my heart or by any fear, but it's because there is in a love. I recognize the innate divinity within me, and we're all connected. And I recognize the unity within and without. And the hell that we're perceived is that hell that we actually live in. Think of how hellish it is when you can't break a cycle. Think of the personal hell that we go through when we're hiding things. Think of the personal hell that we are in when we feel unloved, unlovable, that nobody loves us. And then think of the desperation that it gives us when that is created, and actually the fear, it adds to that. And so what brings us to an actual heaven within and without is to see the divinity within and to start living in the knowing that we all have that consciousness, that unity consciousness within us, that divine spark within us. That is what begins to create that within and without. Not the idea of someday we will get to that place, because that's not living in the now. That's not what we are experiencing at that moment. And who knows what's to go on the other side. That external creation of heaven or hell is a way for the ego to come through and to make things seem more solid, to be able to make ends seem like they make sense. But in reality, that makes way less sense.